Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about Sun's transit through Gemini. This will be from June 15th until July 15th. Hello, I'm Ramdas Sinclair, and today I wanted to go over Sun's transit in Gemini. It's a really busy month. We have eclipses, we have retrogrades, we have some really challenging aspects to the Sun. So I think it's interesting to look at this and see kind of what's already going on and what we can expect for the rest of the transit. So we start that Sun went into Gemini on June 15th, and he'll be there until July the 15th. Now, Sun in Gemini indicates that people in power, especially because the Sun represents those in powers, can be restless and impatient because they're getting some negative aspects from Mars and different planets. It can mean that they're not really operating on their best level. As individuals, all of us are also affected by the Sun. And in Gemini, we always feel restless. And what we want to do is go out, meet with people, be with people, communicate, hang out, and we're looking for variety and lots of new experiences. Of course, this year that's even further heightened by the time that all of us spend inside because of coronavirus. So we can really expect that to be a more pronounced trait in the next month. Additionally, there's lunar and solar eclipses happening right now. So what I'd like to do is give you a quick rundown of key dates and kind of what's going on, and then we're going to talk about how this could affect each sign, just some ideas. So on June 15th, Sun goes into Gemini. On June 18th, the Lord of Gemini, which is Mercury, turns retrograde. So this sets up a very interesting time period, which will go on until about the 26th of June, where 4 of the 5 planets that can retrograde are retrograde. So we have Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn all retrograding. As you know, if you've watched these videos before, when a planet is retrograde, it's just a little out of balance. And so it's in a cycle where it's kind of going, it appears to move backwards. And so things are just not moving forward is the first thing you can say. Things are going to tend to shift. We're going to go back. It's going to be unsteady. And it's a challenging time when this many planets are retrograding at once. So all of this kind of retrograde energy increases our baseline stress level, okay? On the 19th, 2 things happen. So the day after Mercury goes retrograde, on the 19th, the Sun is in conjunct to Rahu in the sign of Gemini. So Rahu is a very disturbing energy. Rahu acts like a crocodile or an alligator. When they grab their prey, they like twist and twist and twist and twist. So this is what's going to happen to the Sun. He's going to get caught in the jaws of this alligator, and he starts to get thrown around. And you can imagine someone who's in charge really doesn't like that. But surprising things may start to emerge, things like that. On the same day, June 19th, Mars goes into Pisces. And what this means is Mars has a direct aspect onto Gemini at that point. And what that indicates that his damaging energy is going to be hitting the Sun. So Mars is a fire planet, Sun's a fire planet. But wherever Mars looks, he causes this destruction. So it's going to increase the stress on the Sun. And then the next day, the 20th, we have a partial solar eclipse. So the 18th, 19th, the 20th, power-packed energy time. This is a time to sit back and relax. I know I'm posting this late because it was power-packed for me as well. I still am subject to the planets. But you might think back, what went on the 18th, 19th, and 20th and see, get some understanding. Let the energy settle a little bit, and things are really, this is in a way the crucial point in many ways for the year because it was so intense. Now on the 23rd through the 27th of June, Venus will station and it was turning direct. So we start to get relief because Venus, who has been retrograde for 3 or 4 months now, is now going to start going forward, still in his sign of Taurus. So if you have sun, if you have moon or lagna in Taurus, then you're going to get a little relief in your whole chart. But we still have Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury that are moving retrograde. Then we have, after the 27th, when Venus is finished retrograding, we have Jupiter moving back into his own sign of Sagittarius. And he'll be retrograding retrograding back until September 13th. Now, Jupiter has been debilitated in Capricorn. So he moves back into his own sign. And this may help us feel a little bit more optimistic, and it may lighten the energy a little bit. On the 30th, also the day that he retrogrades back in, Mercury is exactly combust on the sun. That means they're in the same degree. So with two planets moving like that, June 30th is a day to lighten your schedule, because things could be confusing as Jupiter is changing signs and Mercury is directly in front of the sun. So his ability to problem solve and use logic is not going to be so available until he moves on the next day. Then we come to July 4th. This is the last eclipse, and it's going to occur at 19 degrees of Sagittarius. And this will close out the 3 eclipses that happened starting a month ago, June 5th. So this is a good thing. We'll get through the last lunar eclipse. Now, these points are still active and will be yielding results for several months for the solar eclipse, and about the next month for the lunar eclipse. So, but the energy I see is starting to calm down a little bit. Finally, on July 13th, again, we have 2 things happening at the same time, and again to Jupiter and Mercury. So Mercury then stations and turns direct on July 13th, and on that same day, Jupiter has a direct aspect to the sun. Now, what this can do, whenever Jupiter interacts with a planet, and especially has a direct aspect, whatever happens in a couple days around July 13th could really expand. So there could be another movement that starts, or there could be a major development in COVID, or especially in the social justice movement that we're looking for racial equality, things like that. I would expect to see some developments and hopefully some progress that would come forward. It could be that some local governments, people start to take action to correct the things that are going on. So that gives you the scope that it's going to be a pretty active transit right now with Sun going through Gemini. So Sun at its core is about power. And the first power is to be authoritarian, to an authority, non-authoritarian. It can be, but he has the power of authority, of leadership, of command. So he represents kings, leaders, CEOs, anything like that. In our personal lives, often the father figure is the commanding figure. So Sun is linked to the father, and it's all about leadership. So the second power he has is vitality. So it's our health, it's our sense of energy, and then also it's our connection to our soul, which is about our sense of charisma, like self-confidence, courage, all those things, taking right actions. So this is what he always represents. And when he's in a really great place, all these things are strong, they're generous, they're, expansive, things are going well. This month, however, I think we're going to see a little dark side of that, which is when the Sun is under stress. He tends to be in authority figures, leaders, all of that they exhibit more qualities of stubbornness, being dogmatic, even bullying. We may feel like we're not enough, or we have a lower self-esteem and inferiority complexes, and we feel like we have a lack of authority. So self-confidence, we may feel timid and fearful, all those things will be going on. Additionally, chronic diseases, health issues can give us a lack of resilience. Unfortunately, on many fronts, we're seeing a rise in the virus, And so it could be that it'll be more difficult to fight it off. And in fact, people may be more susceptible. So you really need to be cautious and observe good hygiene so that you stay safe and secure and people around you stay safe. There can also be this kind of dark night of the soul, in that the connection, when he's stressful, it's harder to make a connection to our higher selves. We may be acting more angry, all those things that are coming out. So these are just a few watchwords to understand if you feel yourself, getting upset or feeling bad, fearful, timid, things like that. It's just the transit of the sun. So just know that it's going to get better, and you just need to be conscious of your actions so that you don't say things that you're going to regret next month as the sun moves. So I'd like to go ahead and just give you some ideas. Like if your moon or lagna are in Aries, then your sun is going to be in the 3rd house. So these feelings of fear, timidity, or aggression could indicate power struggles with colleagues and siblings. You're most likely to have it manifest there. If it comes up, then just be aware of it, and like I said, don't engage in the lower energy too much. If your moon or lagna are in Taurus, then the sun is going to be sitting in your 2nd house. And this could indicate change in appetite, either eating a lot more or eating a lot less. But you will really need to be conscious of your speech, because words can really cut deep, and the 2nd house indicates speech. If the moon and lagna are in Gemini, then your sun is going to be in your 1st house. So this is most likely to manifest as a general sense of restlessness, sudden mood changes, and you may have trouble expressing your thoughts, especially while Mercury is retrograde. So what I always recommend is try to lighten your schedule, especially on June 18th and July 11th, when Mercury is stationing. That's when it'll be most problematic. And of course, don't sign any complicated deals, because your intellect and your concentration are going to be impaired. If your moon or the lagna, the rising sign, are in Cancer, then sun is going to be in the 12th house. Now, this is his weakest house, which can cause conflict with people you don't know too well, new acquaintances, things like that, people on the street. So you have to really be careful of how you interact with them, because it could blow up pretty quickly. Poor sleep and some confusion and irrational fears may arise. What we have to do is realize this is just fantasy, and it's going to let go. Make sure, especially around the eclipses, that you really watch your sleep hygiene. It's very important. Leo, if your moon or lagna are in Leo, then your sun's in the 11th house. Now, this can bring rewards from past actions. So you may get a little bit of credit for this stuff that's due that hasn't come in yet. Be sure to maintain your daily schedule and avoid overextending yourself, which could lead to exhaustion. If your moon and lagna are in Virgo, then the sun is in your 10th house. And this can also bring public recognition for your efforts, because sun in the 10th house is very strong, and it's your what we call name and fame. So people will notice you, and you may get recognition for stuff you have done. Now, Virgos by nature tend to be uncomfortable when they're in the spotlight. So the thing I would say to you is just take time and, accept the recognition, remember all the work you've put into it, and make it as, hopefully you'll find it as comfortable as possible to accept the recognition for the work you've done. So if moon or lagna are in Libra, then the sun is going to be seated in your 9th house. Now, this can awaken feelings of jealousy and anger with authority figures. So use your natural diplomacy to address the situation if you feel you must. This is especially important when interacting with any authority figures. Remember that in their role as authority figures, are feeling really stressed. So it's best to avoid conflict as much as you can. But if you have to, be conscious again of your words, because this is all Gemini, which is all communication. So just, take a breath before you speak. If your moon or lagna are in Scorpio, then the sun is in your 8th house. And this can bring up difficult challenges that will be resolved by taking time to understand the details before you start to take action. Okay. Again, just take a pause. This will really surface stuff that can come really out of left field. So if something right hits you, the impulse is going to be to react quickly and harshly, but try to avoid that. So if your moon or lagna are in Sagittarius, then the sun is in the 7th house, and it reminds us to take time to connect with our partners and really listen carefully to their point of view. Everyone's feeling stress. So make sure that you're caring for those who are closest to you. You'll feel better and they will feel better. Rekindling intimacy and show how much you care for them. Because sometimes the sun there can block out the personal connection, and you want to make sure that that remains strong through this challenging month. If your moon or lagna are in Capricorn, then that puts sun in your 6th house, and it can bring legal affairs to a successful conclusion. 6th house, we always look for court cases, conflicts, things like that, ongoing negotiations, especially around your day job where you work, things like that. So this, because sun is there and he has a certain amount of authority, he can help you to be successful in those endeavors. Disputes over those who are discriminated against in society will continue. So this is where the sun is going to continue to bring to light systemic issues in all of our societies that oppress people. And sun, at its core, wants justice. He believes the sun treats everyone the same. So he is going to engender this. So there'll be continual awakening around this. It's important that as these things are coming to light, you take time to reflect on how they may or may not impact you and your contribution to society. Because it's a great opportunity to learn things that have been hidden for a long time. They're coming to light, especially in this next month. If your moon or lagna are in Aquarius, the sun's in the very fortunate 5th house and will bring positive results from all your previous actions. So your good karma from past lives is going to be activated here for this month. Remember to share your good fortune with those who were supportive of you in the past and with your community, and then the rewards will continue to flow in. So when you win something, or when good fortune comes to you, share the good fortune with others and it will bring more good fortune towards you. And finally, if your moon or lagna are in Pisces, then sun in the 4th house may make it difficult for you to speak up about injustices that you witness. You'll feel better once you share your concerns. But sun here can make you, Pisces can see both sides of every issue. It can be, and Pisces can be confusing. So when your moon is there and the sun is reflecting from the 4th house, you may want to, again, examine your words, but don't be surprised if you just remain confused, and continue to evaluate both sides of the issue. And this is where personal self-reflection can help you clarify over time. Don't feel the rush to post immediately on social media everything, because often that can create more disturbance and more upset in your life if you get a bunch of negative feedback from those things. So I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. As always, I invite you to like and subscribe so we can stay in touch. And I hope you'll be successful navigating these kind of interesting times that we're all living in. As always, namaste. Thank you for watching.